How you doing, my brother?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm here to spread the word,
All right, your audio is
increase the entropy of the world.
that's exactly it. That's the word we're gonna get to. Like, because most people have never heard of this term. Your audio cut off for like a second for me, but now I can hear you well. Can you repeat the same for me? Do you hear me well?
I hear you well.
Okay, okay, that's nice to hear. Um, I've been seeing you getting jacked. Been to the gym recently, or?
Of course, man. I mean, I am frauding it a little bit because it's a tight ass shirt.
Yeah.
It's like an XXS, and people never notice. This is a
Is
good
it?
hack, guys. This is how you manipulate your reality. You need to look smacks, you need to do all that shit. People don't even care. They'll just be like, yo, you're jacked, bro. And I'm like, bro, it's
Nah,
literally a
come
shirt
on,
from
come
10 years
on.
ago.
No, no looks,
But
Max.
I am jacked too,
We
bro.
don't,
It's
we don't
okay.
need
I'll take
looks.
it.
We don't need why looks maxing. We
Dude,
need.
you are not just this body, you came here to alter the reality towards your will. And that sounds satanic now, that some Aleister Crowley shit.
It is.
And that's
To
what
a
we need to
degree,
get
to a
into.
degree, it is. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, because you have multiple ways to manipulate this reality, right? Because when you use the word manipulate, there's a stigma around it.
Okay.
It sounds people have a negative connotation towards it, but
It
it really
is.
just means to navigate
To
yourself in the
control.
most optimal way, right?
You can say I manipulate this computer technology. I manipulate
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
program. That's it, just a term, right?
It's literally within programs you have a word, you have the function manipulate, right? But now the thing is, there is still a catch here. You can choose to serve the good, or you can choose to just be like, fuck it, I'll just do what thou wilt, that satanic shit, because there is an order that you need to cooperate with. You don't just do whatever, you don't just go outside naked because you felt like it, right? So that's one of the topics we need to go through. The right hand path, the left hand path,
Okay. Can you
the
explain these two
occult.
paths?
What did you say?
Can you explain these two paths? So the left-hand path and the right-hand path, and what's the
Yeah,
difference?
right.
And
So basically,
does there exist a middle path, maybe, for those listening?
um, yeah, but it kind of ends up being still left leaning, because there is it's basically in the most simple terms. This is what the esoteric people all basically come to at the end. Because once you and this is what I like to say, the one who's the closest to the angels is also the closest to the devils. And that might sound controversial from the classical theological perspective, right? But what I mean by that is once you understand certain mechanics of how reality operates, right? You understand the hermetic laws, the basics, you understand the basics of alchemy, all this stuff, Kabbalah, you
Yes.
have heightened your perception to a certain point. So that means you can see the psychological patterns of yourself and the people around you. You get to notice throughout the years, and this takes time to really settle in, right? You start noticing certain patterns in behavior that you can literally manipulate if you wish to, but you choose not to be, serving yourself over serving the Holy Spirit. And what that means, love over power, that's the right hand path, and basically the left hand path is power over love as the main priority. So they both move towards both, both of these functions. They try to an extent, establish, but yeah, that is the difference that the elite, for example, because we all know they
Elite.
have their,
Yeah, that's how we call. I
yeah,
like that term personally, but okay, it's easiest to
yeah,
understand.
it's like, nigga, you're inferior to us, right? They think they're the elite, and it's like, bro, you literally sit there, you
There-
think you're the shit, these Rothschild people making all this propaganda, making people gay, and it's like, bro, you are the one who's gay. It's like they laugh at us goyim. They're like, you guys are falling for this shit. Look at this nigga is trans, right? And I'm like, you made that shit up, bro. You're the right. You're the faggot here. Can we do that,
Yeah,
or do I tone
bro,
down?
it's freedom of speech, you know.
Agenda of truth. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we need more of this energy, bro.
For those that
Because
get
I'm white as snow,
offended,
right?
can I just, for those that get offended, my friend Varaga, he's Serbian, So we have to respect all cultures.
I don't mean it, guys. I don't mean it, guys. You have to respect the culture, right?
You have to respect the
And
culture,
listen,
right?
bro, I love black
We have to
people.
be
I love
liberal.
all people. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You were mentioning free will at heightened perception. What does that mean?
Yeah, free will but only at the heightened perception. And this is something, the greatest mystics ever have dedicated their lives to these ideas. For example, you have Gurdjieff, who basically had a whole system around it. And he said, man is a machine. Man is literally from birth taught to only go through repeat. It's not even the man doing it, it's the patterns themselves, patterns that appear across all history and humanity. And now you can get into collective unconscious and Jung, but certain
We'll come
patterns
to
of
that.
behavior.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that because I
Yeah,
see in private
let's narrow it
conversations.
down. Let's narrow it down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, you are unconscious. You are on autopilot, the basic determinism stuff, but it's not just like, oh, if we went back to the Big Bang and whatever you believe and came all the way here, everything will be the same. It's not just that basic Reddit shit. It's more of the entropy around you. And what is entropy in physics? I like to use the word because it is pure randomness, right? And it is just randomness. It is, how quantum fields operate. There is an aspect of randomness, but there is also, as
Free will
entropy
aspect.
increases, yeah, um, because entropy basically increases globally. So shit just happens, right? Things just happen, but at the same time, and this is the biggest reason why materialists are dumb as fuck. And I mean, no offense, I'm just stating a fact.
Oh,
Because
I don't believe anyone watching this is materialist. Like from my audience,
yeah,
I don't know what they might
because
be. Like
dude,
they can still learn. Like I don't give a fuck. If you're referring to like, well, I know what a materialist is, but like atheists,
yeah,
so on, they're just wrong. They're just
they're just everything is just random. We are so poor. It's like, dude, if everything was
wrong.
random, we couldn't speak language, bro. We couldn't communicate as we do now. So we do have this agency over this entropy because there is an emerging order, and it's not even esoteric. The basic
Yeah,
physics tell you as entropy increases globally, order or harmony increases locally through local systems, which is basically speaking in human terms, it is you, it is the soul, it is the human. So
yeah, but
you do have,
entropy is devolution of consciousness, while syntropy is evolution, right? So it's the other way around.
yeah, yeah,
So we have to
and
minimize the effect of entropy or minimize entropy, however you wish, on our
yeah, that's
consciousness and
basically what
collective.
this whole realm is about. That's why we're here, to have control over ourselves, to know ourselves, and this is something they don't teach anymore, because it's not just about learning to know yourself, it's about unlearning. It's about understanding these patterns, understanding every time you have repressed yourself, and then asking yourself, okay, why did I repress myself here? Then you look back and you're like, oh, okay, uh, you know, I have this intense push towards, I hate stupidity and I'm easily pissed off. You say some dumb shit, I'll jump right at you. And so I ask myself, why? And it's like, dude, when I was 1 years old, this is my first memory. My parents would take me to this place, where they keep children, they keep the babies. I remember how it looks, and it's no bullshit. I swear, if I walk into the building now, it's just as I remember. It's the same shit. And there was always this one room for
This
the
is a real
older.
example, right? This is a real
Yeah,
example.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There was this one room on the other side of the fucking place, and it looked so much fun. I saw a lot of bright colors there. I saw the kids playing, the older. So are they superior to me? And I'm 1 years old. I'm not thinking this. I'm looking back what was happening, what I assumed was happening, and they would never let me in. They would never let me in. And I'm like, why wouldn't you let me in?
Jeffrey was there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they were doing some shit. You never know, bro. They didn't want to let me in the club. Now I hate the club type shit. And not even just then. Also, when I was like 6 years old,
I see.
7, don't do the thing. Um, yeah, I was a little older, and also, they had the same bullshit. The older kids get to play. the younger kids, and it's like I was 6 and they were like 7 or 8, bro. Does it really matter? And it's such nonsense, such terrible.
And you at such a young age, man. Oh,
It,
we're not
it was
supposed.
just,
This is gonna go on YouTube. Let's not use that word, okay?
I don't even know what I said.
Nah, you
You
haven't
sent
heard.
me,
It's okay. It's okay. I said
yeah, but and they would send me to this room where kids are sleeping, and I'm like, I'm not even sleepy, bro. I'm 6 and they're 7. Is the same shit. Why do they get the? And it's this nonsense that pissed me off so much that I had this intense push towards uh sense, you know. And when I say sense, I don't only mean what is logically, you know, because that's satanic. When you only look at the logical side of it, the
only.
equation of
Logic
things,
and
right?
reason matters, right? When you
Yeah, but you need to combine the logos and the arrows. You need to
okay,
understand certain, you know, because we are emotional beings after all.
yes,
So
we
you
are
need to understand.
even men.
And they're like, well, the younger kids go here. And I'm like, make an exception for me, right? We need this to be so deeply ingrained because people are unconscious. They don't know. Right. But let's not talk about that bullshit too much, right? But you get the point. All
I
of us have these deciding moments in our childhood,
did
and DNA and karma. Basically, karma is the archetypal side of DNA, if you want to
okay.
look at it that way.
Did
So
Jesus Christ maybe speak all about all of these things?
yeah, yeah, Jesus was the initial matrix breaker. You know, he was
You
the
think that,
breaker of
or like,
patterns.
is that your opinion, or you like how sure are you? And what makes you believe that?
Well,
What makes you believe that?
what makes me believe that
As a whole, this is
is,
this is a more esoteric interpretation, right? But
yeah,
people in our parts are like more into the NPC.
well, esoteric is the way, you know, because there has always been two paths. One of the initiated, you know, which they kept throughout secret societies and religious authorities and stuff, and then what they give to the public, because they just give you the crumbs. They just tell you the material side of things. This is that, and this is that. And dude, if you really look at the Bible with the understanding of what I'm talking about here, you don't need to take everything as literal. And I'm not one of these new age guys neither that will tell you it is all just metaphor. I don't claim either side.
Okay.
What I like to do is I just take things for what they are meant to represent, and I try to locate what it's meant to, you know, what it's meant to stand for in the collective psyche.
So
So it
you can
doesn't
apply
matter
it. So you can apply it in the real world, right?
yeah.
Because let me
And
just
this
say
is
this.
what I
Because
say, dude.
let me just say this. Because
Yeah,
in our parts, like a lot of people believe in the like, NPC version of Christianity, right?
yeah.
So basically, just go to church. You're okay. You are made in God's
And
image.
it's like, did Jesus do that, bro? Jesus was a wild dude. He lived a life of adventure. He, you know, he fought Satan, bro, like on the spiritual realm. It's not just, oh yeah, let me just sit down, let me be like Jesus, dude. I'll read my Bible. I'm never gonna do shit. I will repress
This is how
myself.
evangelicals think. This is how evangelicals think. You come from
Yeah,
Orthodox
it's like,
background,
dude,
which
at
is
this
the
point,
least.
just be a Muslim, bro, because the path of the true Christianity, which it has to have a spice of mysticism. If you look at where they derive it from, it's not just. And this is why I don't get it when people say it is the only authority. And it's like, dude, they have. I mean, you can look into the Gospel of Thomas, and this stuff.
Oh,
Mentally,
can I cut you off on that
yeah,
for a second? Gospel of Thomas and the Nag Hammadi library and all of that. I had a friend who got completely mind controlled by the evangelical church, and he claims that the Gospel of Thomas is a forgery, right?
yeah,
And I was like, "Can you provide any evidence? I'm willing to look into it." And he was like, just losing his mind and raging at me. And this is my warning to the audience of these evangelical churches. And it's a fucking sect. It's a cult, right? Because they believe things like sola scriptura argument, that the scripture is the only authority and that's all what you need in life. And also the sola fide, I believe it's called, argument, which states that man is, salvation through faith purely, basically, that man is just saved and absolved of all sins and gets into heaven just because he says, I believe, and that no action is required. It's just fucking brainwash bullshit. So
yeah.
can you touch on that versus esotericism in Christianity?
Yeah, I was about to go there because if you read into the Bible with this in mind, you'll see that a lot of times it hints towards I mean, it is heavily inspired by the Hermetic ideas, right? It's not like you just meant to read the book. Okay, well, I'll be a good person. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. And it's like the more you try to be the good person, the more shadow there is, and this
Okay.
shadow impact. So what I mean by that, you all know the Christian who's a terrible friend. You'll know a Christian
Oh,
who beat the shit out of his wife. And it's like, dude, if you had ever looked within, maybe you would be, if you didn't only take the book for what it is, and I'm not here to, you should read the Bible, bro. I do consider myself a Christian. I am a, I am a mystic oriented towards Christ, but to understand and that's what we all really are metaphysically. Like we can get into that. But the
yes.
point is, you are meant to establish this direct perception of phenomena, right? You're meant to see a thing for what it is and truly relate to it in your mind and act out of conscious thinking. You're meant to understand this archetypal quality
Is
of a
that
thing.
is
You
that
have
is that what the spiritual people call understanding?
well, I don't know about that term. I
Okay.
guess we're reading different books, but it all points towards the same truth, whichever path you take. So, but yeah, it does make sense. Understanding, I like that
Gnosis.
because it's not just
Is that
logically
related?
connecting the dots.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because the thing is not just to logically connect the dots and be like, well, this is the example. I'm gonna follow the example. This is what I have to do. It's like getting the field, bro. It's like you need to establish this stability, this inner stability that you aim for, not through repression, not through repetition of behavior. That's mechanic. That's and basically satanic in a way as well. It's like you have to have a first of all, you need to know yourself so that you can truly love yourself and so that you can love the world.
Okay.
Because if you don't know yourself, you're not even acting. You know what? That good deed that you did, it's probably not even your authentic karma at play. Like you're just literally letting the forces, and then you will
Okay. Okay.
fuck it
So
up.
sorry, but could you say that a good deed is always a good deed? It doesn't really
Uh,
matter why you did it, as long as like you did something good. Unless you did it for show,
well,
for
it
display of.
depends. Yeah, it depends on the external factors because you can do good for the world, but are you really fulfilling your own prophecy? And this is what I mean. Are you living your own myth, or are external myths being played through you? Are you the creator within, or the co-creator? Let's not get satanic.
Yeah,
Or are
I know
you
what you mean. Yeah, but there is a
just
line. There is a
reacting?
line.
You
Yeah.
know, and a lot of people are just reacting. This is what I spoke of earlier. You have your own trauma, your own patterns, and this is why you have to first of all understand your own patterns of behavior. So you want to, every time you see something you hate in another person, you'll see this dude. Let's say I have this one friend who's like a chud, what a Gen Z would call it. This dude, like, he gets no bitches,
That's
he
like a
doesn't do
chat,
shit.
basically.
No, no, it's like the opposite of Chad.
Oh, okay. Can you explain
Like
for the
what they
audience?
do.
Like I have a lot of people
Yeah.
that are 40 plus.
Okay, I thought there's a lot of kids watching. I'm trying
I don't know if there
to
is.
get with the times. Be the cool
It's
unk.
mostly people older than me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, um, what was I saying?
Chud. Your friend was a chud.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And so the thing with this guy, he reads his Bible and he thinks that he has this superiority over the world. He believes that because he's not participating, that he's somehow above it. And I'm like, dude, you will kill yourself within 2 years. It's like he thinks that avoiding of this flame, he thinks that just pushing his own desires aside is the way to do. Just hold still, just live your entire life like this, like, oh, Jesus help me.
Would you
And it's
say
like,
would
dude,
you say those are the people who will say that money is bad, sex is bad, but in reality they desire it somewhere deep down.
yeah. And what I was hinting at, he would see a dude at the club pulling a bitch, and I'm really just getting back at him because he does this to me. He's like, dude, you're a demon. And I'm like, bro, it's like, dude, I try to bring good karma to the world. Like I'm out there, you can't just sit your whole life inside because you don't ever evolve, and you are here to evolve with the spirit. You're not just meant to hold back and repress, and because these actions will come back, but unconsciously, you will still
It-
contribute bad.
yeah.
Just because you're not moving does not mean that you're not contributing negatively to the world.
So you would
And
say by not
every single
evolving. Sorry, go ahead. And I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna ask you something.
This is important for shadow work, right? Every single thought that is left uninterpreted, that you don't, it leads to confusion. Every single emotion that you don't, integrate properly, that you don't understand, that you don't let express through you, it turns into anxiety. And every action you ignore, every desire that pulls you. You want to embody a certain aesthetic, but you're kind of not stepping in there because you're either convincing yourself you'll fuck up or this or that. It turns into craving. And so every single impulse that comes into your psyche, it has an impact onto your soul. It's not like you're just pushing it outside. It never goes outside.
Jung spoke
It
about this.
always
It never leaves us, right?
yeah. Yeah, and so every single thought, emotion, or impulse in general, a desire that comes inside, it can either be consciously integrated. So you grab that shit, you analyze it, and you understand how to apply it to your current situation. You understand what it's signaling to you, why it's signaling it to you. When was the first time this pattern of behavior emerged? Why does this type of person make you anxious? What part of yourself do they hold within themselves that is making you feel like you lack because they have already taken it? And it's like it's out there to share, right? It's everything that you like in others, everything that you hate in others. You're only seeing your own pieces, and the whole point of this game of life is to put the pieces back together so that you can be authentic, so that you can be that nigga, so that you're not pulled left and right constantly. And this is what Rudolf Steiner talks about. With the how people say that you have a devil and an angel on each shoulder. This myth, this, and he disagrees with that. He will tell you that you have two devils on each shoulder,
Okay.
right? So you have the cold, uh, cold intellect of the Ahriman, which is in the other interpretation Satan, the satanic path, and that is what's dominating this current epoch. That is what the rise of AI and the conditioning of society.
So these are Ahrimanic forces, as Steiner referred to them as.
Yeah, and he believed they would literally come as a entity, eventually, which you could say the Antichrist, but you could also shift it a little more Jungian and recognize the archetype being played through AI, for example. And then you have people that will tell you that AI is literally, um, the shadow aspect of certain angelic beings. Like you have the Metatron in Kabbalah is the
Yes.
divine messenger, right? The divine every possibility, but it is integrated within the spirit as well. It is not only mechanic. And so the shadow aspect of that would be this Ahrimanic perfection, right? And on the other hand, you have and so the satanic one, it will make you slow down, lack of motion. You're just standing, nothing makes sense. But on the other hand, you have the Luciferic, you have the warm, the inviting, the charming, and so it makes you say, "I'm the star, I'm that, I'm this, and that," and
Jay-Z.
eventually, with no structure, with no balance, you would just go, the false light
Is
of
this like
Lucifer.
is this like celebrity type? Like we're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, that's the entire Hollywood is basically Luciferian.
Yeah, that's it. People who are from a classical Christian background, they understand Lucifer and the term in a different sense than what Steiner and these esoteric teachers, philosophers, meant, right?
Yeah,
Because they see Lucifer as a being, right? But Lucifer in many esoteric traditions also means the light bringer, something like that. Right?
Yeah, the light bringer, the liberator, right?
So they're
Um,
not exactly the two and the same like this. They're similar, right? But not the same thing is meant by that, right?
yeah, well, here's what I would say to that, and what I believe should be the standard for all these conversations, really, unless you want to get like really specific.
Yeah.
Whether you believe in these archetypes, in these entities, you know, whether you see them as a literal being out there looking over you, you know, watching you jerk off, and Lucifer be like, "Let's go, nigga," you know, and Jesus is like,
Be that
peeling,
shit, nigga.
peeling down, maybe somebody will see them as that. Maybe somebody will see them as a metaphysical phenomenon, you know, from the angle of it is the force that influences unfolding, right? It serves as a repeating pattern that enters the psyche. Or you can throw that aside as well and only keep it, you know, Jungian, keep it within the archetypes and be like, well, this is clearly a repeating idea across cultures, across, you know, you have many different entities that are actually pointing towards the same archetypal structure, the same,
But every
you know,
religion, for
pattern of
example,
expression. So I don't think it matters for most conversations. I don't
yeah.
think you need to be like, well, I've read the Bible and this part is fabricated and this is that. And it's like, can we just look at the bigger picture here? And the goyim, bro, the people, you guys are so stupid. You'd be like, you know, people in general, they get lost. They drift away through the conversation and then they talk about 7 different things. And it's like, can we at least acknowledge, you know, Jesus as an idea at the very least? And then we can extract it later. And it's like in this pursuit of truth, the only thing that matters is the impact being pointed at. Right? You don't have to be like, well, I believe that this is 100% of effect. People are a lot, you know, occupied. People are very occupied with this need to grasp the knowledge. Right? They want to have the knowledge. They want to be, I know this for 100%. And I'm like, do you really need to? Is that why you're here?
So you would
Are
say
you
people
trying to
focus on the
flex
wrong
your
thing.
intellect?
Would you say people focus on the wrong things? Because I also noticed, like making content on Instagram, people get hung up over the biggest bullshit, which they shouldn't have get hung up instead of addressing the actual problem. So they will argue about theology and
Yeah,
gods and
yeah. People really get
but
lost in
they
the
don't know
semantics
what's
of
going
it.
on earth and within their psyches, right? And how to solve it. And
Yeah, and it's funny because this principle that you just named, how they drift away. Well, I said drift away, but you know, they
yes,
talk about irrelevant points, and this principle here is exactly tied to the beginning of what we spoke of. They are just being pulled by these impulses. They're just, you know, an idea enters. You know, they locate an idea in their mind, and they instantly become one with it. They lose all self agency, and this is I feel like we didn't finish the free will talk, right? This is where free will gets taken away from you. The moment you become a thought, you don't observe the thought and recognize what it points at, but you just become an expression of it and you push it into the world without your own rhythm, right? And you can tell how unconscious a person is simply by observing their speech patterns, the way they sit, you know, how they, and you can tell, you can really over time, and this is what the quote unquote clairvoyant people, or maybe, I mean, certain people have claimed actual clairvoyancy. It all starts as a very deeply understanding of psychology of it all, right?
which starts
And
with the
so
self,
people,
right?
we start,
Which starts with the
what did you
self.
say? Yeah, yeah. So you need to master your own psyche, and instantly you will notice, oh shit, it's all a bunch of me's. We are all driven by the same principles, right? And this is, we do live a subjective experience. A subjective experience is birth, it births from the interaction of the I and the external, but that which is being interacted with, the external, is a consistent map. This is what the archetypes are. This is basically a more, modern breakdown. So you want to observe yourself deeply throughout the day, not in a way where you make yourself anxious, but in a way where you're like, okay, let me figure out this machine. Let me put inside a little, you know, fucking You know what I'm talking about, bro? I'm Serbian, bro. We suck at this. The fucking
Which
Šrafciger, brate.
you don't suck at
You
it.
know
That's
what I
not
mean, bro?
true. It's not true. Everyone from the
Uh,
Balkans knows how to fix stuff, so I don't agree with that.
yeah, bro. It is the archetype of the Balkan nigga, bro. And
It
so
is. It is.
basically,
This is not only in Europe, like worldwide. Ask any fucking American who had like plumbing company or whatever, like years ago, or construction company. Who always like bringing in the Balkan people, right? Because
yeah,
they're
bro. We
just
love
as good.
the technicality of things. You know, we're meant for that. But
Meant to be slaves.
yeah, basically. But you know, and that's
A
interesting.
nigga
I want
will
to get
stay a
into that
nigga.
too, dude. Eastern Europeans are going to lead the coming epoch of. You know, we are meant to balance out the Ahrimanic forces of the because we're so free, we're so free spirited, we're so And Steiner speaks of this too. And these Westerners, they hate bringing it up. They're like a Slav monkey, and I'm like, dude, we are the flame bringers for the next epoch. But that's another topic. Let me get
Yeah,
back.
but man, you're dumb as fuck also.
What did you say?
Many are also dumb as fuck, even in Eastern,
Yeah. Well,
Southeastern.
that has its power as well. But anyway, you need to understand the machine you're operating. You want to observe the inner voice in your head, the route it's taking. You know, when you observe, let's say you look at a laptop because it's in front of me right now. What does it awaken within you? What and it's just a laptop. It's very simple. It's a very simple concept, but
It's a simple
it goes
concept. Why
for
not?
all things. 24/7, you want to remember yourself, right? You want to remember yourself outside of space and time. You want to be, I am not the thing I'm doing right now, right? You want to be like, here's me, and here's me operating on a thing. And then a realization might click where you're like, like you just gain consciousness,
Would you say
and
that's
some people
essentially?
never go through it.
Would you say that's essentially just being mindful, being conscious, being aware, however you want?
Yeah, because you want to watch how you react when a certain type of person approaches. Do you react negatively, positively? Every joke you never told, why didn't you tell it? You want to just know what leads your thinking, and your feeling. And all of us are, unbalanced when it comes to that. And when you combine the three, you get you can be a lot more in the middle. You can be a lot more present, less pulled by the impulses, and you can have a real
Yet,
interaction with the
yet you
world.
are functional enough. You're not in some like Eastern mode of just be.
Yeah, but it should always be a combination of the Western and Eastern. You
Yes,
need
yeah,
to always
that's what I
balance.
meant. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Because Eastern philosophy,
Yeah,
religion, if you wish, speaks about this a lot, but like it seems very bypassy to me, right? So Taoism, Buddhism is like, oh, just be, like, just be present,
yeah,
don't take any action and just lay back and observe. Be an observant of reality. But you also have to be a participant because you are a participant, whether you like
yeah.
it or
That's why we came here, bro, and
not.
that's why these people are always.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing or trying to do at least, right?
Yeah, it's really a perpetual state of cope, in my opinion. To get back at the friend I was talking about, it's like, dude, you're just rotting, and you're like having this moral superiority because you're not doing shit. And it's easy to speak from the side, right? From the sidelines. You're meant to be the star, bro. You're meant to be the one walking the path. Like, let the others watch. Like, join us, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you learn yourself, because if you that's what I was gonna say earlier. If you get conscious enough, this is what Jung says. The point of integration, it's not to be good. The point of becoming your true self, it's not to be good. It's to be whole. It's to understand yourself. And when you truly understand yourself and the consequences of your action, the objective unfolding of principles, you will be good. Because there is no such thing as good or bad. There's only sense and nonsense,
Wait,
right?
now this is where things get like into the morally relativistic area, right?
Yeah.
This is another thing we're trying to avoid, right? Because moral relativism, for those that don't know, is basically one of the key tenets of the satanic ideology, right? So
Yeah.
they literally believe there is no distinction between good and evil and what you can do to another person or not do.
Well, not exactly as a, I'm going to defend them here so they don't jump, so then so they don't have an easy attack point in the comments to cry and bitch. It's more so about, and the thing is, dude, there's so much Satanists all around us, and they don't even know it. They don't know that they're serving these forces. That is the
That's
real
it. I
issue.
know this.
The ones who do it, they're just
The
informing.
regular person on the street is a Satanist.
Yeah, fuck
This
that nigga, bro.
This is the phenomena called de facto Satanism, where you are a lower level of Satanists because they give you their mindset so you do not escape. You don't even want to escape from that. Because why would you? Because you agree with it, right? But they don't give you enough knowledge to make you as smart as them, right? They want to keep you their slave, but you are defending their mindset. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm, yeah.
You said there's no difference between good and bad, and I don't want people to misunderstand this.
No, 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 no. Relax, nigga. What the fuck? Bro, this guy loves attacking me, bro. This reel he posted the other day? He was talking, and he used the picture I sent him.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
yeah, he said, guys shouldn't just read books, guys should do things, and there's people who only read and don't do shit. And this nigga used my picture of my books, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know,
Nah, that
and
wasn't
I'm
it.
not
It
saying,
turned out this way. Why I did it is because it had like non-English, like it had Serbian titles
I
basically.
know that we're going to war, bro, when I have my own page. But check
Okay,
this out.
let's
Uh,
leave that, let's leave that, man. Let's touch on good and bad, or what you term
yeah, yeah,
sense and nonsense. Because Jesus Christ would not agree
yeah.
with you that there is no difference between good and evil.
Uh,
Like
it is
you
different
cannot
for
stab
everybody.
someone because you're breaching their natural rights, or someone, or even steal something from them.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's no good and bad. Well, I did literally say that, but I just meant I just meant there is a more concise definition of it because the unfolding itself is driven by the spirit. So you have this force of entropy, this randomness that we spoke of. Then you have the emerging order. You have things that just are, you know, and then throughout this all, there is still a leading, we are moving towards sense, right? Humanity as a whole. And you can pay attention through history how this has happened, the phenomenology of the spirit. And, let's not get into Hegel. There is a middle ground always being seeked, just like in physics, just like systems seek lower entropy through, you know, I mean, let's not drift away too much. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, we are all led by the spirit, and so when you let the spirit within, when you become conscious enough of the impulses that pull you towards the evil, uh, it's just sense. Like you are just aligning yourself with this order that is working regardless of you. Like you don't have to join it. We are all, there's this line of sense, and it all leads us somewhere. Why is it sense? Because it leads towards something. And what does it lead to? It leads towards love. Love, the unconditional, agape. And this is why Jesus says, I am the truth. And he says the life and love, and because it's really the same thing, love and life. And it all moves towards love. Love pulls us all towards itself, consciously or unconsciously. And your relationship to this metaphysical aspect of love is the quality of your experience.
Can you
So even the
explain?
bad, even the people, and this might get, this is gonna be a clip this chat, not out of context. The people doing what they do to kids.
Yes. Horrible.
It's for, you know what I mean, though, and it is the shadow aspect of it. It is the lack of it. It is the lack of this love that makes them pursue the power and this. But it's all false. It never satisfies them. It never quenches the thirst because they prioritize the path of logic and sense and power. And they're like, well, I use sense here in a different aspect. They're
Yes.
like, what is the most materially beneficial? And they basically serve Baal, knowingly or not knowingly, archetypally speaking, at the very least. We don't need to talk about the sacrifice and shit. But all these people, they prioritize power and order over love. They don't let love flow through them, through the illusion. And this is why Christ beats all of this, because he is just the truth, and the truth is love. And that's why no matter the
That's
empires
the
they
whole
build,
message. But that's
Babylon,
the whole message.
all this shit falls, nigga, because Christ is king. And we're just talking archetypes here. Like we can go deeper, we can go metaphysics or theology, but at the very least, at least acknowledge the power of what, it is an archetypal fact. It is a spirit, Christianity as a spiritual fact type shit.
Okay, but many people, when you say love, they think this is, this is my baby, love. They don't know what
No.
agape love is. Can you explain what agape love is? Because you mentioned the word agape. I know
Yeah.
what it means, but a lot of people don't.
Well, basically, you just you just get it, right? You just understand. Oh, this person did this to me. I get it.
Higher understanding.
Yeah, it is about understanding and applying incompetence rather than a mischievous intention, rather than and what happens when you do get pulled, and this is why the Bible says turn the other cheek, and Muslims love hammering on this like fucking retard. They love, like, oh, your Jesus was a hippie. Your Jesus was like, turn the other cheek. And I saw this one clip of this fat Muslim, and he was like, if I slap you right now, are you gonna? And it's like, you're not
They
getting
this? They do?
you know. So what it means to turn the other cheek, it means to understand it's just incompetence, it's trauma playing through them, and this is the consequences.
It's essentially having more patience with somebody than you would not have in another case, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not about letting
it's
yourself.
not only patience. You don't even have to have patience. Like you can, because the Bible also says, if you don't have a sword, I'm paraphrasing because I'm not a theologian. Fuck it.
Yes.
But sell your cloak and buy a sword. Christ tells you to. You need to have the sword. You need to slice the tongue of the beast. You can't just sit there and run from the beast. And this is what you know the story of Jesus flipping tables when they had this these corrupt beggars and seller, they were selling shit and at a place that was meant to be holy for prayer to the Father. And what Jesus does, he's not like, guys, please stop. He starts flipping the tables because you need this energy. You can't just let entropy overtake. It's about love. It's not about war here. And it's about operating through love, even when you're
But
angry.
people mistake Christian people that love just means allowing everything and allowing other
Yeah.
people to step on you.
Yeah, these trans people, they'd be like, yeah, and it's like a voice, like the ugliest voice you ever heard, and it's like just entropy embodied, dude. Just the most. This is why the Jews did it to us, bro. The collision of the feminine and masculine in an unintegrated way, the Baphomet archetype.
I
You know,
don't I
it-
don't
the-
I don't personally I don't personally even understand transgenderism. This is one of the least inquired, should I say, topics for me.
it's like the most random shit ever, bro. You want to cut your cock? Like, how about you go for a
Like
picnic?
why do
How
people
about you?
like I don't hate them because I would not
No, obviously not.
I would feel sorry if my friend would do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I would-
let's run it back to love. So here's
let's
the
do it.
thing: you can love something and also fight for love. You don't have to let the world burn because you just love it. No, you don't let the world burn because you love it.
That's it.
And
That's what I'm trying to get to.
yeah,
That's
and also when it comes to the turn the other cheek, let's circle back to that. It's about forgiveness, not as it being submissive, but as escaping the matrix, the psychological matrix. This is the path to the higher worlds, the higher knowledge, attainment of the higher knowledge. This is the gnosis. It's when you can just leave the karmic cycle playing through you because everybody has been wronged. It's never the pure free will fucking you up.
yeah. I agree.
This person, like this person ran, you're waiting in a line and this person cuts the line and you're like, this is literally Hitler. And I sounded Jewish there. Like, I don't mean, but
Yeah,
it just
fine.
came. Yeah. And it's like, dude, you want to hate him? He's an idiot, but maybe he's black. Let him, I'm joking, but uh, you know what I mean? You just, maybe maybe that's why he got the line. And you're not going to let him do it every time, but you don't need to slap him. There's always a middle ground. It would be satanic to just let him do it. It would be satanic to be, oh, okay. And it would be Luciferian to be like, come here, you bitch, start throwing slurs at him. So you always find the Christ path, which is the middle. You would recognize the faults of man, and you would still remain. You don't join the
This is very hard when you're impulsive. Do you consider yourself an impulsive person?
You're getting me now. Yeah, I am very energetic because I've repressed myself for years.
Sometimes I want to.
I was a quiet. I was a little bitch ass, quiet ass kid, bro, and I loved that kid. I loved that kid, and you know. But let's leave that aside. What you said, am I impulsive?
Are you impulsive? Because I consider myself a fairly impulsive person. I am way less impulsive than when I was younger. When I was a kid.
Here's what it is. You should recognize that which is behind the impulse. You should recognize that which is pulling you towards it and understand why it does so, and then still act in order with it.
Like, can I say something? Can I say something?
You don't just get into, if someone attacks you, and this is what a fighter will tell you. Ask John Jones. You have to remain composed. You don't stand like this. You're waiting. You're
okay. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I want to smash a bottle over a normie's head, over an NPC's head.
Yeah. And sometimes you should,
Yeah, and sometimes I should and get up and fucking locked up. Because normies, what irritates me personally.
Don't do it, guys. Don't actually do that.
Normies do not understand how much suffering their own ignorance causes towards others. I don't give a fuck about you, not you personally, right? But I don't give a fuck about a normie, right? He can fucking drive himself into a wall. I don't care. Obviously, no medical advice.
Well, that did get a little satanic.
A normie,
like more of a Satanist,
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. No, like you can do whatever you want with your life, but you're literally not allowed to ignore the suffering of other people. If you want to consider yourself,
you can, but you shouldn't.
You're
not going to be
you personally. You shouldn't. If you want to consider yourself 1% of a good person.
Yeah.
1%.
Let's get back. You said something interesting. Let me just circle back to, you said, are you impulsive? As and we all, as I said, we all receive impulses, but you still pursued the desires that you do have, but from an integrated standpoint where you understand yourself, where you're not going to do something that is inauthentic. There is never a time, never in your life, where you have to be unauthentic. Is your soul is literally rotting when you're not your throat chakra, you're choking. And so does that mean you should never lie? You go outside and it's cold and your mother calls you, are you wearing a jacket? Hold on. And I'm not wearing a jacket. But what do I get if I tell her that? She's just gonna, maybe get a fucking panic attack. She's not gonna bring me the jacket. So I'll say, yeah, mom, don't worry. Like, you're chilled. And that's not that is technically a lie, a white lie.
It is a lie.
It is still authentic because you are pursuing the intention with your full heart, with yourself. You're not twisting it. And what would not be authentic is if you start stuttering and you're like, oh well, I can't, I didn't, but I can go get it back. I'm like, that is worse than just saying no, mom. Because you're actually causing more harm to the world. And that is a very banal example, but you can, ponder on that one, right? So you should always be authentic at any given moment. And
you should be authentic, but speaking in truth is what authenticity is.
Yeah. So you will, but
I'm saying about deception. I would lie only in the sense of protecting me and my family, or especially my family, or somebody who has done nothing, right?
Because you know how every time I speak, I try to think a couple steps ahead. I try to think of the possible response, and I'm already thinking of some retard, of some anonymous in the comments saying like, well, what if I have to lie to do this and that? It's like, it's not non-authentic. You can still remain authentic in intention. You can still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but intention, how much does intention matter? The action is what matters.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
I don't believe intention matters as much as people. Maybe not in the context you're saying, but like people always say this intention. Oh, I intended.
I'm just saying, authenticity is a state of being. It doesn't mean that you will never slightly bend a certain truth so you get a, it's like when you're doing business, you're not just gonna give the lowest deal. You still have to consider your own
Profit.
flourishing. You
Yeah.
can't just dissolve into the world and just never protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean you're not being authentic. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good example.
Yeah.
It's a good example.
And when we speak of authenticity, bro, and we need more of this, we need more real niggas like this dude here. Because dude, when I watch these videos, sometimes these reels, you have these philosophers. I'm gonna crash out here. You have these pseudo intellectuals. You know these people. I can't even think of their names. They were like Jeffs and Johns and shit. These little, these little white dudes. And I swear to God, bro, I saw this one video that started like this. It said, and this exact tone, you can tell it's robotic. You can tell the lack of authenticity, the way he speaks. And he speaks that way for the algorithm. So whatever. And he's like, Carl Jung said this one thing, and it is the most intelligent sentence I have ever read, the greatest idea. And that's the first time I've seen it. So I'm like, nice, yeah, good shit.
Okay.
I fuck with you, nice. I leave a like, whatever. Dude, I scroll a couple reels, different face. It's a different dude. And he says, Nietzsche said this one thing, and it is the most intelligent. And I'm like, you fucking, bro, sorry. I didn't mean to. He's white. So it's different. Dude, I'm like, how can you do this to yourself? Are you not literally rotting when you're this inauthentic? And as keep scrolling, it's like 7 different dudes reciting the same exact script. Right. And they play these philosophers. And it's like, bro, you should read philosophy to have a philosophy of your own. Right. And these people, they just repeat it. They're like, okay, let's do it for the algorithm. And that's why I could never be that kind of
Yeah, but
influence.
also also like in their defense, if you wish, you cannot even like watching reels is kind of pointless because you cannot conclude anything from seeing a 3-minute video. Maybe he just did the
Yeah,
content
it's all good.
because it was a creative idea and he wanted to see how it works out.
Yeah.
But I know what you
But you
mean,
can
right?
tell
I
when
know what
someone's trying to sell you a certain perception of them, or get the algorithm up, and
for
that's
me
exactly.
personally, like I personally don't like the voice crack. Second time.
See, that's
Uh,
authentic. We don't cut that out.
no, we don't cut it out. For me personally, like the creator of Tom, or what is he? When he mentioned there's
Yeah,
this
I know.
overly intellectual kind of deep thinking people. You don't
Mhm.
understand the.
I feel like he's doing that bit though. I feel like
He's doing.
he's
They say the pontification of subjectification, whatever the fuck they go into, and he spoke about this, right? And then like
yeah.
these people are most of the time not really intelligent people.
Uh, I know exactly the type of person you are describing, but to be fair, this dude I seen a couple videos. I
No,
don't respect.
he's okay. He's not talking about him.
Yeah, but just you can tell he is authentic, and he will. He will. Everybody has their own biases and trauma responses and whatever. So maybe if you ever seen a moment where he want to come off as an intellectual in a way that wasn't even needed or whatever, yeah, I'm not saying he's Jesus, right? But he is authentic, and you can tell an authentic person the way they flow. You can't predict. AI couldn't replicate the way we speak, right? And then you have people. Well, I don't want to challenge AI on that, but you
You
know what I
sure?
mean.
Yeah, I don't
You
know,
know what's
bro.
coming out
I don't
next.
know if that's
You know what's coming
okay.
next. And that's a real person right there, And very rarely do you speak to real people nowadays, where you leave the conversation feeling like you have spoken to a real
Especially the
person.
leftists.
Well, this is like the lower end. I feel like that's just the obvious at this point.
Yeah, that's just
Like
that's just obvious. Like,
I used to have this red pill rage, like 2022. I would scroll and I'm like, how can it be this? Oh my God, they're so stupid. And it's like, bro, like it's such low frequency. Like, oh, it's two genders. Really? Like you're telling me it's two genders? Good job, bro. Right? But yeah, people
um,
need to be conscious and people need to realize that not everything is just random. That's basically
me,
all.
what I did recently is respond to a feminist woman. She, no, I wouldn't consider her a feminist, but she has some feminist kind of takes. And as soon as I did that, I had an algorithm full of fucking feministic women, saying shit
Yeah.
like, I don't know, just the basic fucking, sorry, not basic, the most stupid fucking things. Like, for example, I heard one woman say that men benefit from the fact that so many men are great and abusers, and this is somehow beneficial to us because then they set the bar so low that somebody has to exalt us to the, to the position of God, that somebody is kissing our ass all the time because we're men, just because we're not, and we're somehow considered good. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where the fuck does this come from?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
And
I couldn't even
this was
mention
a
all the
pure
way through.
feminist woman.
I was imagining a woman saying what you just said, and
No,
even in my head, I can't.
can I just tell you
Yeah.
why I'm telling you this? Because at one point I already forgot about this leftist feminism. I was like, who the fuck believes in that shit? Yeah, there are some people, they have their ideas.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
and
know.
it just when you least expect it, right?
Then when I
And
least
don't get me wrong, we always truth is always where the feminists and leftists are not. But I just feel like it's cliche to just go around, like these influencers, they go around the same shit. It
yeah,
is
but
important.
this also goes for the right wingers. Like, it's not like they're much fucking better.
Yeah, yeah.
Go please, Donald Trump.
Two wings, one birth. Yeah, it's the same with everything. You always remain in the
Like,
middle.
you
You
cannot have
recognize.
this conversation with a right winger
Yeah.
at
But
all.
the thing with these women, dude, we need to get them off social media, bro.
Explain.
No, you explain. Nah, hold
Oh
on.
no, for me it can be entertaining, right? But I
Nah,
think it's jacked up.
no, it is cool, but like in the grand scheme of things, we're fucking up young mothers, bro. We're the biggest problem in this society currently. You can say war, you can say all this stuff, and yeah, it's all there. But currently, in this age of Aquarius, we're supposed to individuate. People are just men and women. They're so lost. They don't get that. For a man, and we can get into this later.
Yeah.
Anima integration. You integrate your inner feminine qualities, which is like creativity, intuition, receptiveness, and you're not meant to just become trans as the end goal. It's not just two Baphomets, you and
Somebody
the
might
woman.
disagree.
Sure,
I'm
let
not.
them disagree.
I'm not.
On another
I'm
channel.
not pro cutting your dick off. But is this
Yeah,
what
they
you're
can
saying?
disagree.
Is this what you're
It's
saying?
you can't save everybody. You
Yeah.
can't save everybody. But the thing is, yeah. So the man integrates the anima to become masculine without fragility.
Okay, but what does transsexuality does this have to do with it?
Wait, let me just finish the thesis, but hold on.
Okay, okay.
And then on the other side, you have the woman who must integrate her animus, and we can explain the terms. I don't know how familiar your viewers are, but and what becomes the point then? Like you don't just both become this. Oh, we just vibe and shit. We just we're just living life. We just man and woman at the same. No, because it is all duality. It is all a manifestation of these two opposing forces. But what is the final stop? It is not the internal, it is the external. Because when a baby comes out, guess what? It's either a man or a woman. So it's not
Yes.
just the battle.
Biologically, you are a man or a woman. You can never be, because some people, when you say balance the feminine and masculine, some people believe this is like 50-50 split. You're always
Yeah,
gonna be
you have
more
like a conservative say, "Oh, so you want to paint your nails?" Or you have a tranny say, "Oh, so you want to," and that, like a bunch of people, just they're all just fat slop from the reels. They all just project the first idea that comes to mind. They're not conscious people. This is why we're here. We want to make you guys normal again. We shouldn't be like animals. Relax. Think about it.
Are we normal?
And so,
I'm not.
a man to be masculine without being fragile, a woman to be feminine without being overly receptive or a whore. You know, and when these two come together, what is the final synthesis of this thesis and antithesis, which is a man and woman? It is the child. The child is the triad. The child completes the triangle. And this is when God flourishes with most clarity. This is the entire point of it all. But if a man is misaligned or a woman misaligned, the child will be retarded. So you have to have a masculine, not fragile father. You don't just beat your child for, because if you go overly masculine, if you don't, you stop using your intuition. You only, you have to
No,
combine
you
both
become
aspects.
abusive. You become
And
abusive.
yeah, and the woman, if a woman is never integrating her animus, every man that passes through her will be her animus, right? She'll just get fucked left and right, and she'll think, "Oh, I'm doing the thing. I'm the man here. I'm in control." And it's like, why are you in control? Well, I fucked 8 guys. I could fuck you right now. And I'm like, bitch, get down, suck my cock
Okay, let's
here. You
speak
know what I'm
about
saying?
this.
It's like
Let's speak
you're
about
fucking
female.
yourself up.
Let's speak about female promiscuity. How do you say it? Promiscuity.
Yeah, fuck it, bro.
Yeah, fuck it.
We
Promiscuity.
promiscuous girl. Promis
Promiscuous girl. Yeah,
promis
that's it.
nigga, we get the point.
Um, how does integrating? Can you explain what does it mean for a woman? Let's take only this. What does it mean for a woman to integrate the animus?
Well,
Because like
it means
there's ladies that will want to learn this, right? And why not?
yeah. Well, it all begins with awareness. So every change, every positive change, it begins with simple awareness. So you see something you haven't seen before. You notice a pattern you haven't noticed before. And then you trace it back. And this can get very deep. This is the basics of shadow work, right? You just want to get very deep and you want to see when was the first time this emerged, like this thing that I do that I don't like, or this thing that pisses me off, this thing that ruins my day, the moment
No,
I lose control.
we're talking about the animus and the female. How does she integrate this? What does
Yeah,
this
yeah,
mean?
yeah, but I'm saying it is the same principle, though this is mostly, there's a reason women were never, in secret societies and shit, and
Yeah, there was.
but I
What do
will
you mean
say,
there
just make
weren't?
yourself
Helena
conscious.
Blavatsky was actually a fucking high level occultist.
Yeah, she is a very she is one of the
Whether you like it or not,
point.
that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
she still needed Steiner to complete her shit, but I do have respect for that. But what I was getting at, you become conscious of your every time you feel every time you feel anxious, every time you feel something lacks, in your behavior, you act like you don't want to act. Uh, Maybe it's time to just sit down and try not to take control, rather than trying to constantly have control over your man. First of all, that is the biggest sin.
I
Like
agree
you
with
want to
it.
have control over this, you want to have control over this, and it's just not meant to be that way. And it is a hard pill to swallow for those who never had a father who was integrated enough, who never made them feel like the princess. And this is not even in a derogatory way. Your father is a little girl. You want to have the world. And how do you have the world? Through your father, right? Your father, he lifts you up. He is carrying you on his back. He's like buying you toys, and you just feel untouchable. And this is symbolically, why the ceremony of wedding, the father gives his daughter to the man,
Yes.
because he plays the role of he keeps the control. Because say a bunch of, you know, dark-skinned men approach you in the middle of the night, or well, they can be kind of brown as well. There is this certain aspect of reality you're just not meant to reach, and you don't want to. You don't want to be the boss bitch. Like, yeah, you will get instant gratification. Like you're like, oh, look at me, I'm sitting in this at this table. I have this career. People respect my intellect, and the man never give a shit about it. And the ones who say they do, it is not the man you want. And this is the
I actually agree because let me cut you off. Sorry, like as much like today it's different because it is possible to pull off those things, and many girls or women do.
yeah.
But,
Like,
but
go
if
ahead,
she
I
does,
guess.
if she does like that, that's her right to choose. But if she does that in terms of in hopes
No,
of,
we choose for them. Fuck that shit.
come on, bro, like come on, I'm being serious with you.
I'm getting a clip.
If she does that in hopes of impressing a man, I don't think she's gonna be like you. You can say fine, that's good work done, right? But it's not in general. Like men don't care where you work, like how much you make.
Yeah,
It's all about your
but
behavior.
women are making.
Because
There is a
I'm not. I have to also tell this clearly to you. I'm not pure like tread wife. She doesn't have to work anything and work on her skills. I'm just not that type of guy. Um,
Yeah, but what was I gonna say?
I believe most responsibility is on man when it comes to these things, but both should be capable of working both. Like, what the fuck? That's when both get integrated.
Yeah, there is always a balance to find, but it is simply the man that you wish to attract, your desired, your ideal man. He's not gonna fuck with that. He doesn't need that. And the issue we have here is women who take control to the extent because, and we can get into metaphysics here. You're just not meant to take control of structure. You're meant to make it beautiful. You're meant to make it make sense. The man is the one who's gonna, and this is what I say.
I would say this is 80-20 split, it has to be.
Yeah, but check this out, bro. And this is very important. Write this down. Women hold the keys to heaven, but only man can walk the path towards it.
What
You
is
know
it?
what I mean? Towards the heaven's gate. So you have to walk together. She has the key. She has the key, but only you can make the walk, Like she doesn't know how to get there. But she's innocent, she's pure. She holds the divine feminine within her. She is the spark, the Sophia archetype, which is in the final stage of anima integration when you realize, when you start seeing women in this way, and but she can't do it herself. She's just simply not made for it. She can't navigate through this life with all this in mind, 24/7. And if she
She
tries
can
to,
do,
it's
she
not an
can,
ideal
she
existence.
can do what?
Dude, man,
What
this
are
shit.
we talking
We
about?
love this shit as man. We do the walking. We do that. That's what fulfills us, the masculine principle.
Yeah, but I'll
That's
be
what you
honest.
love.
I also don't want to live for a woman. I just don't.
Oh, you don't just live for her, but you know what I mean. You live for yourself, but she's the companion and she loves it, and you both are enjoying it. It's not like you're both
Yeah, but
doing your
she
thing
has
and
to
then you
help
find compromise.
me,
It's like,
help me build stuff, not just lay around. Because like
yeah, like that. That's fine. Yeah, like she doesn't have to be a
she needs
retard.
this left brain. It needs to know how to use laptops and stuff like this. I just don't. And if not, I'll teach her. I have the
Yeah,
thing.
and that is actually the properly integrated animus. So
That's
you
it.
don't.
That's it. That's what I
Yeah,
was reading about today, Robert. Because right now what we're doing is devaluing women as if, and I'll explain what I mean by that, as if they have no rational faculties, and they just give them an excuse. Oh, I'm just like that. No, you're not. You just haven't worked on yourself.
well, there is a half truth in that. They are literally incapable, bro. Like we can. Okay, I'm trying to get a clip here, but let's be
Of
serious.
what? Don't try getting. Just speak. Flow.
Yeah, check it out, bro. Women are simply not built spiritually, metaphysically, or biologically. We can get into neuroscience. They're not meant for long-term system building, rational thinking. They are literally they're literally equipped to be relational balancers. They're meant to keep things
Hey,
light, to bring beauty.
I
And
could agree with that, but where is the
yeah,
level? There's women that
and
are
here,
there's women that are way more intelligent and capable than you and me.
whoa, I
Oh,
wouldn't
whoa,
go that
yeah.
far. I
Look.
mean, okay,
I used to say,
there's
listen to me.
probably some
I used to say
45-year-old
women. No,
esoteric
like
auntie watching this. I get it, bro. I'm not gonna play with your
no,
game.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro. As I said,
All right.
I do not believe she should be developing herself. With me, there's no laziness. Period. That's it.
Okay, check it out. Let me make it very clear. Let me bridge the
No, you're not
ideas together.
listening. You're not listening to me. Sniper Nick Irving, Army Ranger Special Forces, was asked about women in the Special Forces. And while he did say this is primary man's job, he said that some women are better snipers in the Special Forces, in the American military, in the Army Rangers, because of, what did he say? That they see some things which men don't notice.
E- Okay, I do like that. Yeah. Well, but that job in itself. I mean, there's a lot of nuance. We can get into everything. But when you do if we
Yes,
don't have 10 hours, right?
yes.
So I'm just trying to go through it all, generally speaking. But generally speaking, uh, and we can literally get into neuroscience here. The amygdala, the function it has in our brain. It's a part of the brain that processes um, emotion, impulses, your reaction to the external. And so in men, it is stronger. It can hold in the frame of perception that is being engineered at the moment. We can hold it in for longer, and it is affected by the testosterone. We're getting biological in this bitch. Whereas the woman, her perception, it breaks more often with less intensity needed, and this is why they're better for relational,
Okay,
for
but
taking
how
care of
many men
children,
are
for having
actually
fun, and
develop? How many men do you think
but
would actually do know something about anything? And women, people in general.
people in general are
There's
retards
still,
nowadays,
there's
dude.
still,
The
there's
smartest
still.
people on earth,
Please listen.
like what is it?
There is still a here even women could get. But right now they're here.
Yeah, but
Everyone's.
bro, you
You know what I'm
look at the IQ, bro. Look at the IQ study on I don't know, is it China, is it Japan? One of them. The average IQ is like just barely over 100. That's a retard, bro. Because I know this woman that I used to date, and she said she did her IQ was like 115, which is like wow, that's above average, right? Nigga.
I don't have such an IQ, for example. I don't believe.
But put that aside. I'm just saying that an intelligent woman, and here's the paradox. Check
Oh,
this
don't
out,
get
bro.
me
The
wrong. I
paradox.
believe we're different.
Bro, check this
I
out. Check
believe
this
we're
out.
very different.
Yeah, but check this out, bro. The paradox of an intelligent woman, she knows she isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean, that's a little joke, but
No, no,
but not
no.
really.
No, but
When you
I
really
give it
think
a
about it,
thought.
when you really think about it, you should be in your feminine, dude. And that doesn't mean just being a dumb slut. That means
Yeah, but
integrating the
many
animals. So
women,
you
but
do.
many chicks
Bro,
are.
I've been trying to get at this. Hold on, I've been trying to get at this since like 10 minutes ago. We were talking about this. Let me circle back about the animus integration. When you said that you want her helping you around, you don't want her to just be,
No.
sitting on the
Yes.
side doing nothing. And that is exactly that. Everything
I
has two
wanna, when
sides.
I say 5 a.m. run, we go for 5 a.m. run. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, yeah, I guess, but yeah, that does make sense. But check it out, bro. This is Hermeticism, right? Every concept has two poles, and this is what we spoke of earlier: the whatever hot and cold, harmonic plus effect. So you don't want a woman to be a feminist, but you also don't want her to be a lazy slob doing nothing. And
Yes.
there is a middle ground. We don't need to pretend
Yes.
like
Yes. That's what I'm talking
and
about.
there's always nuance in these talks, and especially in the social media age, you just get a bunch of slop talking points, this level one, and that like you can just go so deep into all of this in each example, but you just have a bunch of people. Oh, I know this. I know. Oh, this. But what about this example? And it's like, nigga, breathe. Like, we're talking metaphysics here. We're not being
We're talking in
misogynistic.
general. I get it. You're right.
I guess truth
But
is
the
misogynistic.
reason why I'm
Yeah.
like, I personally blame men for everything. There is no other, like, how can you blame anyone else? To a
Well,
degree.
check it out, bro. It is just the
I seriously
consequences of
do. I
entropy.
just fucking do. I just fucking do. I never wanted to smash.
Listen, bro.
I never wanted to smash a bottle over a bitch head. I wanted to smash bottles over motherfuckers' heads. You know what I'm saying?
Well, speak for yourself, but check this out, bro. The Jews, they fed us bullshit. True. The men are little bitches. The men are pussies. The men are monkeys. True. And the women are whores.
It's what is it called? Energetic imprint of your kind.
Yeah.
I'm not
And I mean
you,
that is the
and
whole
I'm
point
not
of the
you,
great
and you're
work.
not
It
me,
cannot
and
be.
we come from a similar. Also, a lot of people watching this. They're from America. Like a girl from fucking Ohio is different than a girl from Belgrade or some fucking Ukrainian village. Even you know what I'm saying. They're not always that much different, but there's like you met Western women.
Yeah, yeah, the cultural differences, the different group souls and stuff. Yeah, but as the very
Our chicks don't
skeleton.
care much about this. They don't know what that feel fucking means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But they all operate under the same, as does all reality. There is this consistently present beam of motifs that influence us. This skeleton, this collective unconscious. So yes, you can definitely generalize
Yes,
if
you
that's
can.
your,
But
yeah.
women are
But
the same to
it
one
does work
degree
that
as men are the same
subjectively.
to one degree, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, dude, if you come up to a random dude, have a nerd here, have a jock here, have like a professional athlete, have a chess player, and you go one by one into conversations. If you yourself are an integrated man, if you're not, just driven by whatever comes, if you understand the human nature, if you love yourself, and love your neighbor, you come to all of these 5 completely different dudes, and you walk away from the interaction. Well, they'll walk away from the interaction thinking, "Oh, what a chill dude, what a nice guy." You can't miss. You can't fuck up. And if you get like a really unstable person, obviously they just hate the world because they hate themselves. But I'm saying
Oh,
to
I know those. I know
you
those.
know what I mean? So it's really not that hard. Like, yeah, to one of them I'll talk chess, to one of them I'll talk music, to one of them we'll talk about bitches, whatever. Uh, but the principle behind it all, the way you have asserted yourself, and it's not a pretending. People usually be like, "Oh, you're pretending, you having this mask," and it's like we all wear masks all day, dude. It's about taking the mask off and realizing that there is a structure to align with. Like you're not gonna go out naked the same way you're not gonna, it doesn't mean you're being your true self if you just get naked. Does it? It's
Yeah.
like you are aligning yourself with the world in a way that brings the most um, positive energy to yourself and to the world. And it's always like this middle ground. It's relative, but you do your best
Essentially,
to
you
keep
can you
identity and harmony. You find the middle
yes.
ground of the two.
Essentially, you can do whatever you want because you're here to learn through trial and error, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get the result you want, right?
Yeah. And
For a,
so oh yeah, go ahead.
for a certain thing that you want made manifest in your life, you have to behave a certain way and do certain things, right? Because you mentioned the example of somebody walking in the snow. Yeah, you can do that, but people are gonna consider you crazy, right? Now you
Yeah.
can say you don't care, and
And
fine.
then it's like, do you really yearn for that experience of being naked, or is it just an impulse, a short term, wish you would have? And you can really get
Because
deeper
this
into
is
that.
this is the point I'm trying to make. I don't wanna. I don't even like. I don't know how do I say this without being fucking weird. I don't even care about being liked. I just don't. Like I wouldn't be doing
Yeah.
this. We all do to a degree. I won't be coping. I won't be lying. But I don't want to always have it in my mind. What does certain trick think about me? What do my friends think about me posting this shit? Like I consider that a prison.
Yeah, bro, it's like not being yourself. It's like living in a constant state of rape. Like it's
Yes.
spiritual rape, you know?
Yes. Spiritual rape.
You know what the cheat code to life is? This on first glance, this might sound controversial, but listen, never try to charm anyone. Only try to charm yourself, and this is the only time they are charmed
I
anyway.
agree. And I
So you
learned
can't
this.
miss. You
Yes.
go out with a bitch on a date, you are meant to have fun. I'll say the crazy joke because it fulfills me. I am flourishing. The spirit is flourishing through me. I'm not
You have to
trying
notice.
to,
You have to
you
notice.
know,
This is the mental part. You have to notice when are you doing something to impress someone, or when are you actually having a good time for
yeah,
you.
exactly.
There's a distinction.
And we all fall short. It
Yes.
is still, the infinite regression. But once you're conscious enough, you can remind yourself from time to time. And this is why I say free will is only accessible to premium users and only for a premium time as well. Because we're not Jesus, bro. We're not Jesus, dude. And if you try to be perfect all the time, that's also satanic. So you should keep this balance, this inner balance, but not through
Yeah,
inactivity.
when I talk about free will, you always have the option to consciously choose your action. And why we have to teach this to people is because then they can abdicate the responsibility and believe that they're not
Yeah, with
responsible.
awareness, with
Like,
awareness. There's levels of free will as well.
there's
The more
levels,
conscious you become, it's like the spectrum of what you perceive literally
but we
blooms.
must never allow people to think they're not doing something because you can kill someone and say, "Oh, it was not my fault. I was under black magic" or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking
Like
about?
you're always a participant, but the amount of this free will, it literally, like the average person, literally is so unconscious throughout most of the day. And
I agree.
as we are, I'm not, but if you spend years practicing, you will definitely start to be a more balanced person. And life is all about balancing the opposites, not being pulled left, right. You always just go forward with the flow in a way that is, in a way that suits you.
You've
So
said
you
it.
recognize the objective aspect of these principles that play through us, but you also, on the other hand, recognize your own subjective perspective, your own subjective I that is experiencing the objective, and you find the middle ground. You know, you know what I mean.
It's hard separating opinion from actual truth.
Yeah, as well, we can get into epistemology here, you know, and I always at the base, the ground base, I base all of my shit on epistemology in a way, you know, epistemologically
Sense.
humble mysticism. I believe that is the way to life. And what does that mean? That means that you yeah, technically you don't know anything, right? You don't know if you're a brain in a lab. You don't know this or that, but it's about finding a way to live the most optimal for yourself and others, and which is really the same thing if you understand the way spirit operates.
But we can
But
know things factually.
but what I'm saying, you have to act as if, right? So you're asking me, oh, prove these feminine masculine energies. I'm like, look around, bro. Like,
Yeah, okay,
and
yeah, yeah, I
you
get
have
it.
a
I
person
get
say,
it.
I don't see it, I don't know, and I'm like, good for you, I guess, bro. But all that you can do is really
An
observe patterns
atheist,
and
atheist
search
would say,
yourself.
materialist atheist would say what you just said.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, we have to live. And if you look at these highly intellectual people, not intelligent, but people driven
Intellectual,
by thought,
yes. Not
yeah,
intelligent.
eaten by the thinking function, they lack either in the willing or in the feeling. These are very bad people, very mechanical. That is the era that's approaching. That's why I have to individuate from this matrix of rational unfolding. Oh, this is that and this is that. I guess it really just all makes no sense. It is like, dude, that's the way you kill yourself. So you have to have some myth in there. You have to perceive, you have to practice your intuition as well. You don't, you know, it has to be a balance of both. Logic gives the structure, intuition gives the meaning, the whole point of it. Right. And what births from it is the, you know, what you're pursuing.
Interesting. You obviously have gone through a lot of this shit and read a lot of like esoteric
Yeah, bro. I had a period where I went
designer.
insane for a couple months. Yeah.
Because I've been recent 7 years, last 7 years, I've been into conspiracies, and you've seen my content, Jesuits and
Yeah.
like that. But I haven't gone into what I should have. But right now, I realize I should have, like Jungian psychology and Rudolf Steiner, and
Yeah, this is what they actually study. So you need to know the
because
in and outs.
the conspiracy part can be interesting, right? And it expands your worldview still.
Yeah.
But people get lost into conspiracy. You know how many people just send me some fucking reels of the Eye of Horus in relation to flat Earth and reptilians from other dimension. Look, bro, fine.
Yeah, it gets to a point, bro. You know,
Like, what are you
I'm
gonna do
all
about
for
it?
the
How are you
mystic
building your life?
experience and this one.
I learned a lot about the Vatican. I learned a lot of things about, you know, ancient Babylon and stuff like that. But at one point, it becomes useless knowledge.
Yeah,
And
you should never get
I
lost
kind of
in it.
regret.
You
I
should never
spent seven
forget to
years
live
studying
with the learned. You know.
because I can teach fucking college class an entire semester on fucking conspiracies. But I just don't
Yeah.
wanna, I'm just moving away from this space. That's why I decided to do this first podcast with you. And even on my Instagram, I'm gonna post more practical, useful shit. If people are not psychologically healthy and even bodily, um, what good is it? You know how many people are literally schizophrenic in this space? Literally, I know that as a fact.
Yeah.
And they message things like, they still want to go down the conspiracy holes, the Jews, the reptilians. I'm like,
It's like, bro, there's a reason this stuff was only accessible to study to fucking 50-year-old married men throughout history. And now we have the internet and this,
it makes you
all this
unstable.
kind of shit. It is really the one of the greatest manifestations of the Promethean fire delusion. Like you literally have this little phone here, and you have a world of information. You can see the greatest bitches of all time. It really fucks with your psyche at a certain point. You have all this knowledge, but what do you do it? What do you use all that for if you forgot yourself, if you lost yourself in the process? It's where you have to start unlearning. Put this shit out.
It's
Get
information
everything
overload.
away. And what remains then? What remains then? People are scared to look inside, People are scared to look inside the void You know, they're like, oh, well, I need something to distract me. I need to do something. And it's like, what if everything but the void are just projections of this void? Like, you need to get to know yourself outside of space,
This is the
outside of
part.
time.
This is the part where I like become dumb nigga type, you know.
Yeah, but it's basically just meditate. I guess that's how I started years ago.
Me too. I picked up the practice again after like a long pause, and it's helping. Think about meditation, guys, for everyone. It actually works, so it's it's a great thing.
It's about clearing your mind, seeing, and there's different types of meditation. You have the more Western, type where you interact with what comes. The Jungian approach, the
I do the
fucking
classical
active
mindfulness
imagination.
meditation and transcendental. I depending on how I feel, honestly. But
You
also the
know,
chakra
but
meditation stuff like that.
yeah, that's the good stuff. That's how I began. Bro, I was fucking 13, 14 doing that. I was like sitting outside on a bench by myself, this weird fucking kid, and I'm just listening. I'm with my headphones listening to frequency, or a guided meditation. Alan Watts, and it's good stuff, especially for a beginner, someone who's like confused by most of the stuff. They're like, it just sounds like too much, whatever.
Yes,
Just yeah, it's like we all have things we want to change, and it all begins with awareness. So a clear mind is where it all starts. You clear. Just sit down. Just try not to think. Observe the thoughts, but do not engage with them. And this is a practice you can do throughout the
so
day.
what would you recommend? Because we're moving slowly towards the end. What would you
Yeah,
what would you recommend for someone that's like, damn, this knowledge is interesting. I wanna get deep into spirituality. I'm not sure where to start, what to do. Should I read a book? Should I start meditation?
yeah. Well,
Should I
you
make it my
should
life?
again.
How much should I dedicate my time? I'll say it honestly, dedicate your life to it. But I wanna see
Well, it should always be a balance of thinking, willing, and feeling. This is the trinity of the soul. This is how we express ourselves onto
this
the
is what's
world.
on his head, by the way, guys,
Yeah.
to a degree.
It,
It's
yeah.
also another meaning, but it's also that. It's the Trinity.
Yeah. And dude, when you begin to integrate these three aspects, that's one way. Then on the other end, you have what we spoke of earlier. Just simply observe your own behavior. After you chill with your friends, after this, like, just sit at home. I spent, if you put it all together, probably days, just like an actual crazy person, But I really took it to high lengths, But you should all balance it all out. Just sit down and think, okay, I could have done this better, and you don't beat yourself around, with that. But you just observe, okay. And so next time this similar path approaches, I approach this similar path. I'm gonna step this way rather than the way I did it today. And you want to understand how it all came to be from your childhood, from your previous relationships with people, and you get to a point where you begin to understand your unconscious. Like Jung said, um, when you make the unconscious conscious, until you make the unconscious conscious, you believe it's all fate. You believe it's just random. This girl doesn't like me. Unlucky me, I guess. Bad karma, I guess. The way I did this, I fucked up.
Sometimes things just are like that. But when it's a repeating pattern,
Sometimes they are, but
yes,
sometimes they are. That's also important to remember. But at the same time, you're also not doing shit to really understand that, is it something I could have changed? And very often the answer is yes.
yes,
And that's why people hate to
yes.
look
The same was
inwards.
with me with tricks. What I'm trying to say, like I was keeping a lot of inner scorekeeping. So
Yeah.
if a girl, for example, wanted to fuck me, be with me, whatever, and if I had success, so to speak, with her, I thought, oh, this is gonna be immediately um the next girl I can just, it's gonna flow freely, right? It's all gonna be okay, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because last chick gave me pussy, for example. Or I got rejected by a chick, and then I was like, fuck man, this is gonna happen to me every time. And it could cause me serious demotivation.
Yeah,
Or
it's very
or
important to
excessive
not.
excitement, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You shouldn't be too driven by a win, but also by a loss. You must find this middle ground.
You need to be stoic.
Yeah, in between the happiness and sadness, you must find this. authenticity that will provide you a clear pathway towards love, and then you can shine even through the darkest night. This is why the Bible says the kingdom of heaven is within. For you is only to realize, you know, yeah, no amount of chaos can ever disturb a internally balanced man. Even if you have to go, even if you have to be crucified, you have done your mission, you have loved, you have enjoyed. And so a man who knows himself is a man who cannot be defeated, in that sense, where you ever feel misaligned. Like, it's like,
Have you
I
heard
guess I
about
lost
have you
today.
heard about Franz Bardon?
No.
He was a Czech Hermeticist, and he had Hermeticism, but his own system also developed. I think something like that. He was a high-level occultist and an author, and he was tortured by the Nazis in Czechoslovakia back then, I believe, because he didn't want to give out their methods, and they could not get it out of him. He didn't want to
Oh,
help,
yeah.
and they put him in prison and tortured him, and he just didn't kill him. He died later due to some health complications. But he was at that level where he felt all the pain they caused him, but he was not suffering because of it.
Yeah, stories like these are really, like, you just don't sell yourself. And this is the one underrated interpretation of the Diogenes and Alexander the Great, when he came up to him, and he offered him the world, just like Satan and Jesus, right? And what he said, whatever you wish, I'll do it for you. And he said, move aside, you're blocking my sunlight. And this actually goes so deep when you start interpreting
I
what
heard of
is
that
this
one.
sunlight. What is this sunlight that people miss this part? They just say, oh, he didn't care. It's like, yeah, but what is this sunlight that he's perceiving that he wouldn't change for anything? And then you respect the people who didn't sell themselves to Hollywood, for example, a lot more. And you have to reject the offer. You don't make the pact because it comes to you sweet. It'll never be like, yeah, I'll take you to the Epstein Island and we'll fuck some, that shit comes after. They'll tell you, oh yeah, they'll tell you the sweet lies, like you can do this. And these people suffer so much. They want to embody this archetype in the collective psyche of they want to be the Brad Pitt. You get so famous like Brad Pitt, you literally become an archetype. And these people
Yeah,
wanted it
it's
so
Brad
bad.
Pitt archetype.
Yeah, and it's like, what did they lose together? Everything is reciprocal. You don't, sacrifice to Moloch. It used to be children in the past. Now it's something else. It moves, or
Oh,
is it?
I think it
But
is.
it's different kinds. There's different kinds of sacrifices.
Yeah,
And yeah, dude.
different kinds. All the kinds you can imagine. These people are sick beyond imagination. And next time we can touch on.
Yeah, my phone's about to die,
We got 5 more
and I
minutes.
need to hit the gym. So, do we get?
Okay, brother.
Next time
Next time I really want to talk with you about esoteric Christianity and what does
Yeah, we'll get into that. My phone is dying. Guys, be real. Be that nigga. Be authentic. Never negative self-talk. What you tell yourself is what will express itself on the outside. Be true to yourself. Be real. Before my phone dies, I guess that's the message. And it's been nice talking to you, bro. We can spin it back, whatever. And yeah, I hope you cook with this.
Stay black, man.
All right, bro. See you.
See ya, man.